Reports of Brandon Aiyuk getting traded are heating up, but not really. Let's dig into it. Welcome back to the Deep Dig A Sports Pod. I'm your host, D, and today we are digging into the trade rumors that are swirling around 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. But before we dig into that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Always want to hear that. San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk is looking to hold out, wants a contract. He's been pretty vocal about it this since the end of the season, really. He's already unfollowed the team. There have been rumors swirling since last weekend that supposedly someone had some inside information. And hey, on Monday, this past Monday, he was 100% going to request a trade. Well, turns out that did not happen. And in fact, Brandon Aiyuk's agent came out and dispelled that rumor pretty quickly. Came out and said, "Hey, I don't know who your sources are, guy, but we have not requested a trade. We will not be requesting a trade. We're looking to get a deal done." Cool. So, I mean, I get it. Hey, you know what? Someone's trying to get the scoop. Someone's trying to be first to the story. But I mean, don't talk in absolutes when you're going to say, hey, it's 100%. He's going to request a trade. Then you look dumb when the agent come out and says, hey, you're wrong, dude. We had at no point planned to request a trade. We don't. And then cut to a couple days later where now there's really strong rumors that, supposedly the Pittsburgh Steelers are very much in the mix in talks with the San Francisco 49ers. People in the Steelers organizations, quote, would be surprised if a Brandon Aiyuk trade did not happen. So leaning towards more that it is going to happen than not. The Baltimore Ravens were also a team that was linked to Aiyuk. I believe those rumors have fallen off. So all this is going on. Brandon Aiyuk agent again comes out and says, this is not true. We are not in talks. We don't want to go to the Steelers. We want to be with the 49ers. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, realistically, maybe the 49ers had some inkling or had some conversation with the Steelers. I think that, well, one, this does kind of kill Brandon Aiyuk's leverage. But I think that realistically, John Lynch and the 49ers were planning and still are planning on getting a deal done with Brandon Aiyuk. And we all know that one thing that John Lynch really does value is keeping it shut. Like, hey, if we're going to be doing dealings, we're going to have to make sure that it's going to stay within house. We're not going to take it to the headlines. I mean, I think the most contentious one so far was Deebo Samuel. And even then, there wasn't really a whole lot to it. Even the Nick Bosa one, not a whole lot publicly coming out. A little bit worried at some points that, hey, this deal might not get done with enough time for him to be right within the season. But eventually it got done. I think that's the same approach that John Lynch is taking with Brandon Aiyuk. Like, hey, realistically, we're going to get this done. We know that we do deals like right during training camp. So that's going to be our timeline moving forward. I think that eventually they're going to get settled on a contract. I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is going to get the money that he's asking for, but he's going to get well paid and it's going to be well deserved. I don't think he's going to get paid more than Deebo Samuel, if I'm going to be completely honest. And I don't think that there's not a whole lot of trade value, but not a whole lot that you'd get in return. I don't think that you would net a first round pick in this draft, especially in a spot where you could take a wide receiver with that option. Maybe you package it with something else in order to get that boost. But realistically, a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, like some of these other teams, why wouldn't you just take a cheaper option at wide receiver, even if you get 75 to 80% of what you would get with Brandon Aiyuk? Why wouldn't you do that? And for the 49ers, why would it make sense it wouldn't make sense to go for anything less than a first round pick? Because realistically, Brandon Aiyuk is Brock Purdy's favorite target. And if you want Brock Purdy to succeed, you're going to need Brandon Aiyuk in this offense. I mean, he does everything. He can be the number one wide receiver. As far as getting rid of Deebo Samuel, I don't think that's an option either. I think you're going to have to do that over Kyle Shanahan's cold, dead body. That is his favorite player that truly embodies what he wants to do, with this offense. So I don't think that that's happening either. I think you find a way to make it work. You pay Brandon Ayuk. I don't think it's going to be. I think both sides are really going to have to bend on this, but I don't think it's going to be the money that he's looking for. But I still think he gets a very sizable increase. And I think we've seen with like the T. Higgins situation last year. Hey, if we're not going to be able to trade you, you're just going to have to play. And look at they franchised him this year too. And it's like, hey, we're not going to give you up for nothing. Ball's kind of in our court here, and no one's picking up. So either we get it done together, or we're just going to ride it out. I don't think that's what end up happening with this Brandon Aiyuk. I do think at training camp they will get a deal done. Again, both sides are going to have to compromise, but I think that's a fair statement that in any deal, both sides walk away like, okay, I kind of won this and I kind of lost in some angles, but hey, it is what it is. And I think what we've seen from Brandon Ayuk's agent, he wants him to stay there in San Francisco. I mean, who wouldn't want to stay with San Francisco, with Kyle Shanahan, with Brock Purdy? I think that this is a match made in heaven. And I think that he's going to continue to prosper here as a 49er. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Does he end up get traded? If so, to which team? Or is he going to sign a mega deal? Let me know.